What do you recall of, if anything, during your period as a media advisor to Mr Tudge, of persons having committed suicide after receiving debt letters or being caught by the Robodebt scheme?
So I was aware of media articles saying that people had committed suicide as a result of receiving a debt notice. And all of those cases were looked into by the minister. From memory, some of them were Robodebt cases and some weren't. There was lots of different reasons why these people had received debt notices, and it wasn't exactly clear. Some of the articles were very misleading and kind of suggesting through the style of reporting that the person had committed suicide because of the debt notice. But then there were other articles where family members had said, quote unquote, I believe that my brother, my sister, whoever suicided because of the debt notice they received. So there was a mix of articles from my recollection.
Did those reports have any impact on the extent to which the scheme was defended?
Look, I mean, those reports, first of all, were terrible and obviously, really tragic and upsetting for me in the Minister's office. There's not a lot that we can say in that area, but again, we just went back to our policy of if there's been things that have been said that are incorrect, that we'll correct the record. Beyond that, we're not saying anything. The details of those cases were very closely kept between the Minister and the Minister's policy advisor and the Chief of Staff, and I only saw bits and pieces as related to from memory, I only saw bits and pieces related to the media side of it.
Did you have any conversations with anyone from the department about the relationship between debt notices and suicides as they were reported?
Not that I recall.
It didn't appear to you that there was any reflection on the question of accuracy or fairness about the scheme when suicide was mentioned?
Oh, no, because we understood that a lot of recipients of welfare payments are, vulnerable people. They are people with perhaps pre-existing conditions, that we had sent out there were a lot of debt notices going out, so you've got a large pool of people, and that. But yeah, I mean, it was concerning. It was definitely concerning.
Never mind fairness and accuracy. What about the sheer impact on someone who's not expecting to be contacted about 5 years ago's debts and somebody who's vulnerable? Was that given any thought?
It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was, and as I think I said in my statement, there was a distinct lack of empathy and that thinking around, that thinking that putting yourself in a person's shoes, putting yourself in a person who is receiving a Centrelink notice, putting ourselves in their shoes. It didn't happen because that was the culture of the place. And that is one of the reasons, why I think that obviously I'm hoping that this commission addresses, because you would think that working in human services, social services, that the first person you think about is the recipient. But that was not the case throughout government, throughout the coalition government.